everyone. Welcome to the brand new episode of Connecting During Crisis. My name is Joseph Luciano, and we have two special new guests on our show. We got Damaris Ayala. How you doing, Minister Damaris?
Doing good, thank you.
And also we got another person that came back, Minister Debra Szubrowski. How you doing, Minister Debra?
Doing great.
And also we got Martin Lee in the house. How you doing, Martin?
Doing great, Joe. How's everybody?
I'm good.
Fine, thank you.
Great.
That's good. That's good. Today's topic I'm going to talk about is success stories.
Oh, nice.
Amen.
The question I'm going to go for Mr. Deborah. What was your success stories during this pandemic?
All
And
right.
will you do it all the same all over again?
Okay. Well, to answer the first question, I would say I'll talk a little bit about my success story. So when the initial lockdowns and stay-at-home order were put in place, I could have, I could have easily gotten depressed or anxious like other people that I knew and or just because it was a new situation, or I could have just wasted my time. However, I chose to take the extra time to refocus on the things that were important in my life and to actually be very productive. So as I had mentioned last time, I did manage to go back to school for my certification in one of my teaching certifications. And I've been putting that off for years, actually. And I kept saying I was going to do it, and I never did. And then I just took that first I went to God, and I said, what do you want me to do at this time? What do you want me to do now that I have, I went to God about a lot of things, but, and he kept pushing me in that direction. So I just did that. I started to apply. I actually just applied to one place and I just got in quickly. And I just was motivated. It was as if I had like a source of strength pushing me forward. And I just did very well so far. And I'm almost done with that right now. So I would have to say, if it was not for the pandemic, I don't think I ever would have done that because first of all, I didn't have time to think and refocus, and I needed rest. So I rested a lot at the beginning. I know at the beginning, there was no remote learning really. It was just send things home for the kids to do. We didn't have anything in place. So that was a whole bunch of extra time. Even my second job at McDonald's, for a while, I wasn't doing that either. And then I did go back to that for a little bit. My success story is that through this, I did something I haven't been able to do. And the other thing was I also focused on my health. As I had mentioned before, I started to exercise and to create a routine for exercising, and I've never done that before either. Awesome. And for the second question, if I had to do, would I do it all the same if I had to do it again? And I say yes. I think I would have done everything the same again. All right. And that answers those questions.
Oh, that's good. Minister Damaris?
I'm almost with Minister Debra. It was not. I would say that I was ready for the pandemic because it didn't affect me emotionally in any way. I thought I was something wrong with me, and I said, "God, is something wrong with me?" But He said, the Holy Spirit lets you know, no, I got you ready a long time ago for this because He puts peace and He puts wisdom and intuition in us, and we can ride the waves when they get high. We can ride them, and I believe that God is allowed this pandemic to take hold of the world because there's a lot of loose ends that have to be dealt with. A lot of things that, like Minister Deborah was saying, there were things that she had to catch up doing and she had left behind for some other time. And at the time of the pandemic, I was finishing college. So it came in at a good time because I was trying to get back into college, and the husband told me, no, 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 no. Hang it up, take care of yourself. I want you to take care of your life, of your health, because my health had been pretty dramatic. And he said, no, you're going to take a year for yourself. You're going to bring yourself up to par, okay? Because as your soul prosper, so should your body. So should you physically prosper. And so I said, okay, Lord. And then the best thing happened to me was that my sister Priscilla said, Eagle's Nest is on streaming. And I said, what? And I have been just praying and saying, Lord, I don't know how I'm going to get back to my church or my people, but just make a way, because I was missing my family very badly. And so he made a way. So I have had a really good time during this pandemic. I have been enriched. I have progressed. I have wealth of joy and happiness in my heart, and God is establishing me. I'm doing more exercise. I'm taking care of myself. Even my daughter is checking up on me. Mom, what are you eating? No, take that out of your hands. She gets on my case. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it. And the second part is that I I would do it all over again because it was good. It was good teaching. I learned a lot from it.
Wow. Sounds good.
Amen.
That's good. That's good, Damaris. Pop Priscilla.
Oh, well. Wow, success story during this pandemic. So 2020 was for me, like a lot of people, it was a reset moment, what's important, and had so much time that I had to reevaluate, what's important for me. And I guess the one big success, because there was a lot of things that got accomplished in 2020 that I, again, just like everyone else, I had been putting it off because you're so busy doing your normal routine, right? You're too busy to even take a breath and think about, hey, you have things that you've been dreaming about finishing. So last year was a good year to finish a lot of things. And one of the things that I did, I think was really successful for me, was paying off a lot of debt. I didn't have to go anywhere. I didn't have to spend frivolous money. Like I'd go out and spend money, not even know what I was spending. It was like, oh yeah, I need money for that. Didn't need it. Looking at like, oh wow, all this stuff I don't have to spend anymore. I don't have to do. So I paid down a lot of debt. I took advantage of a lot of things because of the COVID, how they were arranging and rearranging payments. So I took advantage of a lot of that and paid down debt and improved my credit score. That was awesome. I mean, that is a big deal. Anybody that knows me knows that that is not a strong point for me, but thank God that it is becoming something that I feel like I'm mastering, like sticking to the budget and planning for the future. And that's important. That's important. You got to think about stuff that I thought about was generational. Like, what am I going to leave to my child and to my family? I have plans. I want to leave money to family, not just one, but a lot. I have a lot of nephews and nieces, right? And my plans are to bless them in some way. And I would like to do it before I die, but it's necessary to clean up your act because people are dreaming about wealth and everything, but you have to, for me, I had to get my act together with my finances and being a good steward. And that's what 2020 helped me do, was align myself so that my financial picture will look better, my credit score is looking better. I'm really excited. And 2021 has been better because of that. My financial picture has been a little better. Not, I'm not super rich or anything like that, but I'm doing a little better. So I thank God for that. And I think, I would do it all the same over, like as far as the success story is concerned. And I would do it over the same because this was a moment in time that we didn't have to be still and do things that we had to do and catch up. It's like a catch up moment. So I'm glad I had that catch up moment. Yep. That's it.
Amen.
That's very good. Very good.
Yeah.
And also, Martin Lee.
Well, Prophetess Priscilla just took my presentation.
You got to stretch.
I'm just talking about what the whole financial piece. You're absolutely right about getting your credit together. And there's so much that you just don't have to pay. You know, you don't have to worry about paying for. Like, I can't just tell you how much money I saved in gas just going to work every day. And it's a funny story because I just took my car to get it serviced on Saturday. I took it to the dealer and the man said, "You need a new battery." I said, "Well, I need a new battery." He said, "Because the batteries," he said, "the battery's drained." And I was trying to figure out what's going on. He said, "Well, you know, if you don't go anywhere, if you're not going anywhere in the car's not being started up, then the battery's draining." And I said, "Oh my God, that's a problem because now I'm working from home. So I really don't go anywhere." so I mean, and one thing is a good thing, but another thing is a bad thing because I still have to buy a battery. But
Yeah.
be that as it may, it's, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, absolutely. You know, I was able to get a lot of my credit together. I don't think I have a big success story. My success story is that, hey, I made it. Maybe, I mean, we are all here right now. We made it through 2020, and that's such a blessing. And we have to honor it because so many people have not made it, and it's, you know, it's unfortunate. But because you're on this call today, I mean, you made it through 2020. One thing I'm glad to see is that that the world is embracing technology more. I knew about Zoom since 2014. And I was wondering, I said, well, why isn't the world, you ask us to go to meetings sometimes, you ask us to do this, you ask us to do that. I said, you could probably save a lot of time and money, you know, just on a computer. Why aren't people doing that? And 2020 forced us to get into Zoom and other technologies that, let us have this type of conference over the computer. So I'm glad that that we're embracing technology more. One other thing I'll say is that 2020 has allowed me. I probably should have started a business in 2019, something that something that I embrace a lot. But what I did in 2020 is I started learning about it. I started learning about this business, e-commerce, by the way, and I just studied it and studied and studied it a lot more, and I'm kind of getting into it now, but I think if I had to change anything again, I probably would have, instead of just studying it, because a lot of times we get into the habit of, paralysis of analysis. We just stay there and then we just keep on looking at it like, oh, do I want to get into it right away? Do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? And it's like, you start to think, man, am I going to fail? Because one big thing with me is one thing I'm learning now, and the Lord has actually been on me about this for a while, is just how to stay consistent. So I'm learning consistency more and more, and I figured that if I change anything, I probably would have just, instead of just studying it, I would have jumped into it right away in 2020. So that's really the only thing I would change. Other than that, like I said, 2020 has been a blessing. I don't have a super success story, but just the fact that, we made it and we learned some things about ourselves because another thing that we talk about, in politics, they talk about something called the Great Reset. But 2020 was the Great Reset for everybody. Reset of our lives. So
wow.
That's the only thing that I would take away from it. If I had to do it all over again, yeah, but it would just be a lot faster. That's all. Instead of just, thinking about things, I would have just jumped into it a lot more and just started doing things a lot more. And I think at this point, where we almost into July, I would have been a lot further than I am right now. So that's what I would do, Jim.
That's awesome. That is so awesome. I'm going to tell you my story. During this time, March of 2020, Priscila probably know, I ain't taking any transportation ever since it started because I'm trying to stay safe from everything with people close to each other. And also that ever since that, we've been started doing Zooms together on every other Fridays. And then when Michelle was telling me, how come you doing every Fridays do a show? Like, really? I didn't think about that. That was my vision, my desire doing this, because I haven't been doing this in a minute. Ever since I'm doing the show, it's getting better and better. And also I've been getting a lot of monies coming out for unemployment and everything happening. And also I've been working a couple of days a week and I'm still doing it ever since. And also I've changed. I've been, it's my shirt, guys. Massage my shirt. Said XL, said 2X. I lost a lot of weight ever
Wow.
since that.
Yep.
Good job.
Yeah, y'all notice that. It's
Yeah.
2X, not 2XL. So that you guys know.
Just gonna let you know.
Y'all know I wear my NWO shirt on Facebook. Y'all know that was my old shirt since 1997.
Wow, I
Yeah,
saw that.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my God.
Red black shirt. It's like on the WCW logo. Like, oh,
Oh, it's fitting again. Okay.
Martin, you know about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, will we do it the same over again? Of course. We need some desire and passion and opportunities for everyone.
Great.
Yes. And my last question, I'm going to throw over to Mr. Deborah. Says, where do you see yourself when the pandemic ends?
Okay, so I would see myself as somebody who has a greater appreciation for life, an appreciation for the people around me, and I'm already learning that. I would also see myself as somebody who is more intentional, instead of being all over the place, instead of being unsure. I'm getting, and I'm getting there now, but I feel that at the end, when it's over, I'm going to come out as an intentional, purposeful person, and I'm going to step into new things. Like I'll have my certification by then, and I'll, pretty much change things up. I'm going to go apply for, I'm in the education arena as it is, but I'm going to apply for a job in a more specialist field in education, which I already have some experience in as well, but I just needed the certification. So, but not only that, I'm just going to be purposeful with everything, I think, instead of going back and forth with things like in the past. Like I felt like this pandemic has made me appreciate life and even think that we only have so much time here in life. We only have so many years to live. I can't believe that I'm 35 right now. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm getting old.
You look young.
I know, but I know people say that, but I'm not that young anymore. So that's what I'm going to come out intentional, purposeful, and with an appreciation for life.
Nice.
That's very, very good. Good. Mr. Damaris?
Wow. I'm just going to ride on Minister Deborah's code because that's really where I have been at, making decisive, being decisive,
Yeah.
because I have been very indecisive in the past, and that has hurt me a lot. And one of the things that I learned really deeply in my heart was trust. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and with all your strength and your understanding, and I really have stepped into a new place. And like Minister Deborah said, I have made many decisions that were not, like, yeah, no, the double-minded person will never get anything done. And I had been like that because I would say, well, Lord, do you want me to do that? Well, I don't think you want me to do that. And it was weird, but that's because my faith was lacking. But I have really entered into a place of rooted faith in God. And so decisiveness, yes, being decisive, being yes, I'm going to do this, or no, I'm not going to do it, and stop playing around with the ping pong ball, and stop it. So yeah,
Yeah.
That's good.
so that's where I'm at.
That's good. That's good. Prophet Priscilla?
Wow. Where do I see myself? Well, I see myself using technology to a much greater degree because 2020, like Martin has said, just push technology on you. So if you want to survive and you want to communicate with other people, got to get on that bandwagon, right? I see myself doing more videos, maybe content creation. That's really what I want to do. And like on social media and other platforms, just a lot of content creation and hopefully content that um, can really people can really associate with, can really say, oh, I like this, or something that really speaks to people. So not just talking for talking's sake, but I want to do content that really speaks to people, locates them, and makes them think, and hopefully helps them too. So that was my goal for when the pandemic ends. So I have to really work on that. So that's it.
That's very good. Martin.
Well, real quick, I want to tell Minister Debra, don't trip over 35 because I've just turned 44. So you got time. You ain't going nowhere.
I'm 70 and I'm just starting out.
All right.
Yeah.
But where I see myself at, I thought the pandemic ended. I thought the world opened up again. But if we're still in the pandemic, at the end, I'd hope to see myself into full-time entrepreneurship, which would help me to get into my dreams of getting into the film industry.
Very nice.
Which is why I met Joe at Philly Camp. So
We all had that video bug in film industry.
absolutely. But that's where I'm at, though.
Hey, Martin, were you on that Erie Plant Live episode that one time?
Erie Planet?
Yeah.
I was in that movie.
Oh, you were in the movie.
I had a 20-second role.
Okay.
Oh wow.
That's good.
I'm gonna have to watch it.
By the way, it's on demand. Check it out.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, where do you see myself when the pandemic ends? Wow, a lot of changes. I see more changes coming to your end. I see opportunities coming to your end. And honestly, it's coming to myself. I see myself like getting more people involved, get people involved on Zooms, and getting more people on social media. That's how I've been doing ever since. That's how I currently doing. And when it's ends, I'm looking for see more opportunities, see more visions, and be grateful to other people. Anyway, you guys got final remarks before I wrap up?
Not really. I
I
want to
think
say, everyone, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Joey.
No
I'm very
problem.
proud
Thank
of you.
you
Very
for-
proud.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to me.
Yeah, why not?
Please feel free to come back again more. We got a lot of stories to share on this episode. And actually, this is gonna be episode number 12. Well,
Mm.
y'all,
Everyone has stories to share.
yeah,
Yeah.
Has something to bring to the table. So it's
Yeah.
great.
Right.
Yeah.
yeah.
Serious
Yeah,
stories.
I enjoyed listening to everybody's story. It was
Yeah.
all very inspiring. Thank you.
Yes, it is.
So did I. Thank you.
Yes, yes. Anyway, this is Joseph Luciano, Minister Debra Szubrowski, Minister Damaris, Office Priscila, Martin Lee, and thank you for this time tuning in the show of Connected During Crisis. And I'll see you later. Hold on a sec. Do that again.
Bye.
Bye.
Everybody.
Hi, I'm Michelle Clark, and I am a Philly Cam TV production crew member. Why don't you join us at Philly Cam? You'll enjoy it and you'll have a lot of fun. You'll meet people, you'll see some stars every now and then. So come join us at Philly Cam. See you next time.